Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date developments in the global finance.
The British Minister Michael Gove says Britain's internal market bill is an economic measure that gives a legal framework for the country's market post-Brexit, describing legislation that has provoked a row with the European Union. Gove, who leads the government's work on implementing the divorce deal, told a parliamentary committee that the important thing to stress about the UK internal market bill is that it is primarily an economic measure. Emergency talks in London between EU and UK representatives failed to clear the bloc's concerns. One EU diplomat characterized comments by Gove as verbosity, while another said the bloc's concerns have not been cleared at this stage. After Britain explicitly said it would act outside international law by breaching the withdrawal agreement, EU negotiators are trying to gauge how to deal with London after 4 years of long Brexit talks.
Cuba will soon devalue the peso's 1-to-1 exchange rate with the dollar for the first time since the 1959 revolution. Before the end of this year, authorities are expected to unify the two domestic currencies, keeping the peso and eliminating the convertible peso, also fixed on par with the dollar for state business activity, but exchanged with the public at 24 pesos. The measures are part of a package of reforms aimed at fighting crisis and scarcity caused by tough US sanctions, the pandemic, and bureaucratic inefficiency of the Soviet-style economy. The government hinted in July it would adopt the monetary reforms and other measures, such as loosening centralized planning and restrictions on small businesses, first called for by the government a decade ago. Domestic and foreign experts forecast economic activity will drop by nearly 10% this year, after stagnating in 2019, and government officials have admitted a lack of convertible currency has forced postponement of debt payments and drastic cuts in fuel, food, and other vital imports. Economists have long argued that the 1-to-1 official exchange rate, different rate through the convertible peso for the population, and various exceptions by sector stymie exports and encourage imports because a dollar earned is accounted for as a peso and vice versa, making it difficult to decipher if a company is profitable. While Cuba will soon have just one currency, the government began allowing the dollar to circulate electronically with a bank card a year ago and is opening stores offering everything from used cars and domestic appliances to food and hygiene products. Sources said they expected the dollar stores to increase, at least in the short term, to provide stability and capture greenbacks to import goods.
South Korea is preparing its fourth supplementary budget for this year of around $6.6 billion to aid struggling small businesses facing mass closures amid unprecedented social distancing restrictions to curb a resurgence of the coronavirus. At an emergency economic policy meeting held on September the 10th, President Moon Jae-in said the fresh spending of 7.8 trillion won will be used to help small businesses and households. Moon told the meeting that the unexpected resurgence of the virus is delaying the recovery momentum. Of the new budget subject to parliamentary approval, 3.2 trillion won, that's about $2.7 billion, will be used as cash payments to small businesses. Another 1.4 trillion won will support struggling job seekers. The fourth extra budget of this year comes to the top of 277 trillion won. That's about $233 billion of stimulus pledged so far. Strict social distancing rule imposed since late August have hurt restaurants, hospitality and retail sectors as the government banned on-site dining after 9 p.m. and limited coffee franchises to takeout and delivery. Statistics show from Korean data show the number of self-employed businesses were down by 128,000 in July from a year earlier to 5.5 million, marking the biggest annual drop since 2009.
Australia's Foreign Minister Marise Payne held a video conference with her ASEAN counterparts on September 10th on the sidelines of the 53rd ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting hosted by Vietnam. Payne said during the video conference that as ASEAN's longest-standing dialogue partner, it is natural for Australia that ASEAN should play such a central role in responding to the shared challenges of their times, including COVID-19. Australia's vision for the Indo-Pacific has ASEAN at its absolute centre. During the summit, ASEAN ministers were expected to seek collaboration to fight global threats and to try to de-escalate a tit-for-tat US-China rivalry as the world's two biggest economies vie for influence. Russia, Japan, Australia, South Korea, and India were among other countries remotely joining an event hosted by Vietnam that will include a 27-nation security forum, as concern grows about rhetoric and accidental conflict and about other countries being caught up in the fray. The 10 ASEAN members are Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical financial stories. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.